Alright, welcome to the misfits who survived what should have broken them. Yeah, I'm talking to the ones who didn't get a manual, didn't get training, didn't get backup. But somehow, you're still here, breathing, thinking, planning the next move. Special forces call this impossible. You did it on autopilot. Let that sink in for a second, because you keep acting like you're behind, like you're late, like you should be further by now. But look at your life for just one moment. Really look at it. You were thrown into chaos with no helmet, no body armor, no briefing. No one said, hey, this is how you handle betrayal. No one said, here's the step-by-step for heartbreak, poverty, humiliation, self-hatred. They just pushed you into the battlefield and said, good luck, don't die. And somehow, you didn't. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's not a glitch in the system. That's you doing on instinct what trained professionals spend years trying to simulate in controlled environments. Special forces drill scenarios. You lived them. They practice under stress. You grew up in it. They simulate losing everything. You actually did. And you still walked out. Not smiling, not perfect, not okay all the time, but walking, talking, thinking, dreaming. You call it barely coping. I call it operating at an elite level with no gear, no support, and no sleep. Because tell me this, who taught you how to handle that night when your phone went silent and your chest felt like it was burning from the inside out? Who trained you for the moment you realized the people you loved the most would never be who you needed? Who gave you a strategy for sitting in a room full of people, feeling completely alone, and still forcing yourself to smile so no one would ask, are you okay? No one. There was no commander, no therapist, no mentor, just you, your brain, your nervous system, your heart, duct-taped together. And somehow you tuned your instincts on the fly. You learned when to shut down, when to go quiet, when to disappear, when to fight back, when to walk away. Special forces take psychological evaluations, go through months of conditioning, practice responses in slow motion, over and over. You were thrown into the deep end, in real time, with real consequences. And here's the twisted part. You've done things with your mind that they'd label elite performance, but you call it survival mode and brush it off. You think you're lazy because you're tired. You think you're weak because you're overwhelmed. You think you're slow because your brain freezes sometimes. No, you're not slow. Your brain has been running Black Ops missions 24/7 for years. It's exhausted, not broken. You keep underestimating what it means to still be standing right now. You pulled off what specialists call impossible without even realizing you were doing it. They talk about situational awareness, right? Being able to read a room in seconds, scan exits, sense danger, predict behavior. You've been doing that since you were a kid. You could hear a door close and instantly know, okay, they're in a mood. Today, I stay quiet. Today, I stay in my room. Today, I laugh less, talk less, breathe quieter. No one taught you that. Your nervous system learned it to keep you alive. You think that's just overthinking? That's advanced pattern recognition. You turn trauma into a radar system. They call it hypervigilance. They put it in books. But when it's you just call it, I'm tired of being on edge. Of course you're tired. You didn't have training cycles. You had no rest days, no mission debriefs, just mission after mission after mission. Survive school, survive home, survive your own thoughts, survive your bank account, survive the silence, survive the noise. and yet you still expect yourself to perform like some polished motivational poster, always confident, always clear, always composed. You know what real power looks like. It's not the loudest one in the room. It's not the one with the medals. It's not the one with the calm, rehearsed speeches. Real power is the person who has every reason to give up and still shows up again, even if they're limping, even if they're shaking, even if their hands are empty. That's you. You've walked into days with nothing left inside you that made sense, and somehow you still handled the job, the responsibilities, the expectations. You replied to messages when your mind was screaming. You got out of bed when your soul felt like it weighed a ton. You smiled at people who never even thought to ask what it cost you. That isn't autopilot. That's high-level, high-stakes mental resilience operating behind the scenes. You don't feel special because you're used to your own suffering. You've normalized it. If someone else lived 1 month inside your head, with your memories, your fears, your guilt, your regrets, they'd be begging for mercy. You wake up and call it Monday. Special forces call this impossible. You call it another day. So let's be brutally honest. You have no idea how powerful you actually are. You think strength looks like clean, aesthetic discipline. Waking up at 5 a.m. with a perfect morning routine and a green smoothie. Cute. Your strength showed up when you woke up at 2 a.m., heart racing, mind spinning, every ugly thought attacking you. And instead of doing something irreversible, you just lay there and took it. You rode the storm, you let the thoughts scream, and you outlived them. No applause, no medal, no video, no post, just you in the dark, staying alive 1 minute at a time. They train soldiers to endure pressure for short bursts. You have endured pressure for years without a switch-off button. They teach breathing techniques. You learned how to take a deep breath after crying silently in the bathroom so no one would know you were breaking. They teach them how to disconnect emotion from mission. You had to smile at work while your personal life was collapsing, because rent doesn't care if your heart hurts. You did that on autopilot, and you still think you're not strong enough. Let's talk about when you were weak. Yeah, when you texted someone you knew was bad for you, just because you were lonely. When you stayed in a situation that was killing you slowly, because leaving felt worse. When you procrastinated, self-sabotaged, ghosted people, bailed on opportunities. You call that weakness. I call that operating with broken data. You weren't weak. You were wounded. You were doing the best you could with what your nervous system thought would keep you safe. Special forces trained to override fear. You had to figure out how to override abandonment, shame, and self-disgust without a coach. And still, despite every messed up story that was written into your head, you are here, listening to this, trying to understand yourself instead of running from yourself. Do you understand how advanced that is? Most people never look in the mirror. They distract, they numb, they blame everyone else. You're here asking, what's wrong with me? Why am I like this? How do I fix it? That question alone is elite, because it means you haven't given up on you. You think you're behind, but you're ahead in the only race that actually matters, the one where you stop being your own enemy. Let's rewind. Remember the first time you truly broke? Not the minor stuff. The moment that split your life into before and after. The message, the betrayal, the loss, the humiliation, the diagnosis, the moment they left, the moment you realized no one was coming to save you. You remember the exact feeling in your chest. The world kept moving, cars still passed by, notifications still pinged, but inside you, everything went quiet. And then the mind started. What now? Why me? Is this it? Maybe I deserved this. That wasn't just pain. That was your operating system trying not to crash. You didn't shut down completely. You kept going. Somehow. Special forces simulate worst-case scenarios. You woke up in one, and instead of a team, you had you. Shaky, confused, angry at yourself, angry at the world, but still moving. Do you see the pattern yet? Every time life said, yeah, this one should finish them, you folded for a while, you crawled for a while, and then a tiny, annoying part of you whispered, get up. Not loudly, not heroically, not like the movies, more like, fine, I'll try again. That fine, I'll try again is your superpower. That's the part the world never gave you credit for. The part even you don't give yourself credit for. You think greatness is loud, but most elite operations are silent. You getting out of bed with no motivation. Silent mission. You replying to that email when your brain wants to disappear. Silent mission. You choosing not to destroy yourself today, even though the thought crossed your mind. Silent mission. Special forces call it discipline. You call it, I don't even know how I'm doing this anymore. You know how? Because there is something in you that refuses to fully give up. No matter how ugly it gets, no matter how many times you've embarrassed yourself, failed, fallen, repeated the same mistake. That refusal is not normal. It's rare. It's terrifying. It's powerful. You're dangerous to the version of you that wants to stay small. Every time you get a little bit of clarity, a video, a conversation, a thought in the shower, you start plotting your escape from your own patterns. And yeah, you slip back. You go back to the old habits sometimes. But here's the difference now. You can't fully lie to yourself anymore. You've seen too much. You know you're capable of more because you've already done the impossible without realizing. You handled heartbreak and still trusted again. You handled failure and still tried again. You got rejected and still showed your face again. Special forces call that resilience training. You called it another year of my life. So what do you do with this? You stop pretending you're some broken extra in everyone else's story. You are not an accident that survived. You are a weapon you haven't learned how to wield yet. Does that mean you don't need rest? No. Elite doesn't mean you never stop. It means when you stop with intention. You recover with purpose. You don't just crash out and call it lazy. You look at yourself and say, I've been running high-risk missions in my own mind for years. I deserve rest. I've earned it. Because you have. You've been doing high-level emotional combat with no armor and no exit plan. Of course you're tired. Of course you overthink. Of course you shut down sometimes. That's not weakness. That's unprocessed strength. You've proved you can survive hell. Now the mission shifts. Now you have to learn something even more advanced than survival. You have to learn how to live, not exist, not endure. Live. Special forces get retrained for new missions. You need to retrain your mind for a world where you're not just bracing for the next hit. Because tell the truth, even on calm days, your brain is scanning for disaster, isn't it? You're waiting for the message, the fight, the disappointment, the shoe to drop. You've lived in danger so long that safety feels suspicious. That's not your fault. That's your system doing its job too well. The same instincts that kept you alive are now standing in the doorway of your future, checking every opportunity for threats. Don't get close, you'll get hurt. Don't try, you'll fail again. Don't speak, they'll laugh. Don't trust, they'll leave. Those voices aren't your enemy. They were your bodyguards. They just don't realize the war is changing. So what do? You don't fight them with cheesy affirmations you don't believe. You do what elite units do. You give your mind new intel. When your brain says, "Don't try. Remember last time you failed?" You respond, "Yeah, and I survived last time. I can survive trying again." When your brain says, "Don't trust. Remember when they betrayed you?" You answer, "Yeah, and I rebuilt myself after that. If it happens again, I know how to rebuild." See the shift? You stop making your past proof that you're cursed, and you start using it as proof that you're built for impact. Special forces call it confidence under fire. You call it, "I've been through worse." You've said that before, haven't you? "I've been through worse." You say it as a joke, but it's the most honest flex you have. Someone flakes on you. "I've been through worse." Someone talks behind your back. "I've been through worse." You mess something up at work. "I've been through worse." Because you have. You've survived worse things than embarrassment, awkwardness, rejection, or starting over. The things that paralyze most people are just Tuesday for you. And yet you still doubt if you're cut out for your goals. Look at the gap between what you've survived and what you're asking for. You survived emotional warfare. You're asking to start a project. You survived being discarded. You're asking to post your work. You survived having nothing. You're asking to build something. You survived nights where your mind was an active crime scene. You're asking to finally feel proud of yourself. This is not an upgrade. This is a reward. You already did the hardest part. Special forces call this impossible. You did it on autopilot, half-conscious, with no briefing, no training, and no backup. So now imagine what happens when you start doing things on purpose. When you stop calling yourself weak for needing rest. When you stop calling yourself lazy for hesitating. When you stop calling yourself broken for feeling too much. Imagine what happens when you look at your life and say, "Okay, if I can survive all that accidental training, what would happen if I actually started training on purpose? What would happen if you gave yourself the same seriousness you've given your pain? What would happen if you took all that instinctive survival energy and pointed it at something you actually want? Not just avoiding worst-case scenarios, but chasing best-case ones. You've already proven you can endure the worst. The question now is, can you handle things going right? Can you handle showing up for your dream version of you with the same aggression you used to show up for your own destruction? Because you know how to ruin your life. You've studied that pattern. You know how to ghost people, sabotage opportunities, push away good things. You are highly skilled at self-destruction, which means you have the discipline, focus, and intensity. You've just been using it against yourself. Flip it. That same obsession you put into overthinking. Aim it at getting so good at your craft they can't ignore you. That same energy you put into stalking your own misery. Aim it at studying people who broke out of situations like yours. That same stubbornness you used to stay in places that hurt you. Aim it at refusing to quit on the new version of you. You've been test running elite level power in the wrong direction. Special forces learn how to clear a room in seconds. You've cleared your own heart dozens of times. New people walk in, hurt you, and you clear them out eventually, don't you? You restart again and again and again. You know how many people never restart? They flatline emotionally. They become bitter and stay there. You're still here trying, still here hoping, still here searching for a way to turn all this pain into something that makes sense. That's not weakness. That's proof. Proof that under everything you still believe there's a version of you that makes it out. So here's the reality. That version of you, the one you keep imagining, more confident, more stable, more grounded, more successful. That's not a fantasy. That's your system showing you a preview of what it knows you're capable of. Because it's seen what you can pull off when you're broken. If you can operate at this level while doubting yourself, while hating parts of yourself, while dragging your past behind you like a chain. What happens when you start cutting the chain links one by one? Not overnight, not magically, piece by piece, decision by decision, boundary by boundary. Special forces don't become elite in a week. They go back again and again. They drill the basics until they're boring. You've already mastered advanced suffering. Now you drill basic self-respect, saying no once. Tiny win. Not apologizing for existing. Oh, tiny win. Doing one thing today your future self will be proud of. Tiny win. Stack them. Because underneath all the chaos, there's a fact that doesn't care how you feel about yourself. Special forces call this level of mental endurance impossible. You survived it without a uniform, without a rank, without a team. You've already done the thing they train their best for, on autopilot. So the real question isn't, am I good enough? The real question is, what happens when I finally stop pretending I'm not? You start to move different. Not flashy, not dramatic, just different. You wake up, and that first thought in your head isn't, I'm useless. It's more like, all right, I've been through worse. I can handle whatever shows up. Tiny shift, massive impact. You walk into a room and instead of scanning for who might hurt you, you start scanning for chances. Who can you learn from? What information is in here? What doors could open if you actually speak? You used to walk into spaces like an intruder, head down, shoulders tight, apologizing without words. Sorry I exist. I'll just stand in the back. I'll take up less space. That version of you is still in there, shy, guarded, waiting for the hit. But beside them, something else wakes up. The part of you that has seen your own file. The part that remembers every mental war you went through. The part that looks around and thinks, half these people would not last 5 minutes inside my head. And once that thought lands, you stop begging for validation. You start rating the room. You're not asking, do they like me? You're asking, do they have the capacity to even understand the kind of endurance I've built? Different energy. You used to chase people, used to hand them your worth and let them play with it. Let them decide if you're lovable, valuable, important. You don't do that as easily anymore.